take questions.
All right. If you have a question, please use the raise your hand function. Ethan, do you want to go ahead and get started?
Sure. Yeah, coach, just this is the second time, I guess. I know the second half of the last time y'all played kind of found some rhythm in the second half offensively, but Vanderbilt's just kind of thrown off the offense. Just what were they doing that was working so well?
Changing defenses, literally every trip down, causing some confusion, causing some pause, causing some uncertainty. And when you play uncertainty against them, it really stalls you out. It makes you look disjointed, forces you into some tough shots. And then y'all know this, y'all have watched this a bunch. Y'all know that we're very sensitive to how we play offensively, and it starts to affect our defense. And I think that also showed in the second half. When you get a 30-second shot clock violation on the first possession of the game, you think, okay, maybe this is the night. And then it just did not materialize. But those two guards are incredibly hard to guard. We did a really good job at times and a really poor job at times. But yeah, I thought, again, the second half, just their ability to change defenses kept us from being aggressive. We missed some shots as a result of that typically we make. And we're not a very good team when we miss shots that we typically make.
And then, y'all, Michaela hits that big three to put y'all up 47-46 and climbed all the way back. And then Vandy closes that quarter on a 9-2 run. Just how critical was that stretch?
That was probably the difference. I mean, if you want to go back and, it's obviously accumulation of the entire game, but if you want to look at a turning point, that was it. I think we got a couple times in that one. If it's the same one you're talking about, Ethan, we would get a stop and they would get an offensive rebound, or we'd get a stop and it'd get kicked out and they get the 50-50 ball. And there's no question they played harder than we did. And that's the discouraging. We're there. We're discouraged. We're disappointed that we have not learned our lessons in losses. We've not learned our lessons trying it the ways that we've tried in the past. I just told the team that, trying the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, not a good method. I have stuck with some philosophies and some things that I have found to be beneficial in the past that don't translate to this team. And some of it I buried my head in the sand too. Some of it we've known about, and I've just buried my head to it. I promise that won't happen. I just made that promise to those kids that we're going to be very introspective, and there will certainly be I think noticeable changes in things that we're trying to make some improvements.
Well, thank you, Jordan.
Yeah, I just have one. Sam seemed really passive today. I know she struggled with the turnovers lately. Is there anything to that, or is that just a result of Mac being hot tonight?
Mac was hot tonight. I thought she had the matchup that was – they were switching a bunch of stuff, and we got them in some great switches. I think it's middle of February. We do have kids that are logging a lot of minutes, but our bodies were in good shape. We don't put those loads on them in practice. But I do think there's starting to be some mental fatigue. We got kind of got Emory going a little bit right now, but I've got to try some other kids. Got to get some more kids in game situations to see what they can do. And not look down here and see kids being mentally fatigued maybe. But, Sam's not 100% healthy either. She's never going to make an excuse. And I'm not saying that that she played poorly. She just didn't make shots some that she normally makes. And she didn't turn it over tonight. I thought she did other things for us. But I mean, you can look at our wins and losses. If y'all have access to the stats or put them down, we are at our best when we have 5 people in double figures or near double figures, and we don't have a lone 30-point game. Aaron had the 37-point game in a loss. Mac had a 31-point game in a loss. We are better when it's 15-15. That one game we had I think 4 kids with 16 and 1 with 15. That's when we're at our best. Teams know that. Teams are scouting us. And as a result, when we look down and I see, only 5 people score and the bulk of them carrying that load, we're typically not at our best when that happened. And that's what happened tonight, I think.
Thank you.
Yep.
Christina?
Coach, it seemed like you guys were kind of right there for most of the game. Obviously, it ended up 8-point deficit, but it didn't, you were able to get it close, take that lead. Just what do you kind of credit the inability to build up a bigger lead or kind of keep it a little bit closer to?
Lack of confidence. We're all struggling, Christina. You know it. I mean, our kids, coaches, kids, it's hard to lose. It's hard not to come out on the winning side of things all the time. You don't get the opportunity to learn from your losses anymore. And that's where I'm saying this is the first time in my 29 years. Sometimes I don't know how to protect some of these kids, how to protect each other, how to protect ourselves, and get some confidence. You can't fake confidence. You can't just give people confidence, but we're trying to be uplifting. I do tell you this, our kids just talked about in the locker room. We made tremendous improvement tonight on how we reacted to when things went bad. We just didn't carry it over to the court. Our timeouts were good. Our talk was good. There was improvements there. I'm just going to go back. It's a long answer, but the answer is our confidence is really shaken. And I think that's why we miss easy shots. Again, I say shots that typically some people have made. My confidence is shaken to make tough decisions because we haven't come up with the results that we wanted. I don't know how much better or worse we played. I hate doing these press conferences right after because it's always better than I thought when we lose, and it's worse than I thought when we win. But I did say the other night against Auburn, I didn't know that we played any better against Auburn. We just got the win. So it kind of feels the same. But we made the decision to try to peak in later in the year this year. This group has been heavily scrutinized for not winning in the NCAA tournament, even though there's a lot of reasons, not excuses, but reasons. Didn't get to host, had to play a neutral side. Our best team didn't even get to play in the tournament. It's unfair that this group has to listen to that. It's not fair, but it's loud. So our confidence is shaken. I will use every resource available. I will talk to we've got our motivational coach with us. He'll probably sit with me on the plane on the way home. We'll push every button we can because I do believe that we've still got a team that can finish what we started. Tonight's our first loss to somebody that's below us in the net. It's our first loss to a team that we were favored over using any of the metrics, any of the predictive metrics out there. It is our first loss to a team that like I said, we weren't favored to lose to. So that it does hurt a little bit. But Vanderbilt did outplay us tonight. They played harder. They played more inspired. They had to be 85 to 90% of the loose 50-50 balls that were just up for grabs that just mathematically you would think you would get 50% of if they're called a 50-50 ball. But we can't call them that anymore. Some of that will be technique. Some of it will be, maybe I've overvalued our ability to do some of that. So we'll get solutional. We've got 5 games left in league before the SEC tournament. It starts on Sunday with Missouri at home. I hope our crowds will stay with us. They make a difference. We don't have very many Sunday home games at all and not very many left. We need everybody behind us. And we will do, as coaches and staff, our entire job right now is to get our kids some confidence.
All good. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Coach.